XRPC would do after price appreciation: take gains or hold. It's in your 401k, so it is a tax deferred account. Again, this is a question for a financial advisor. It's not something that I can really give you a hard answer on. I don't currently have any allocations to any of the ETFs for XRP. We have some allocation to Ripple Equity and XRP and other private investments. Somebody asked me the other day, how my portfolio was constructed at one of the family office events that I was at, and I was like, it's 95% XRP and 5% private equity. Which is true. And then I have the small allocation to hash, right? But all that being said, I do think that the ETFs will perform exceptionally well when XRP's price appreciates. I mean, you can borrow against your 401k. I'm not advocating for that, and we have these products where people are able to borrow against their XRP. We've had people margin called. Unfortunately, this go around, we did have some people lose some assets in this last liquidation, even with, our partners giving them some grace and time to be able to kind of cure those margin calls. Unfortunately, some people were just overextended and not in a position to be able to do that, and so they did get some liquidated, which not fun. But I've told you guys, right, like, you need to be responsible. You don't want to take too much LTV. You need to be able to make sure you can service the debt and cover the capital call if there's a situation. And yeah, it wasn't a lot, but for any amount of XRP lost, that's not good. We don't want that. And so it was sad to see, that happen to a couple people. But it was much better off than what would have been a smart contract. A lot of people were able to cure their margin calls and had no issues. So it was a small portion of our client base that had that happen. 1010 we didn't have any because we had immediate market recovery. This one, because it was longer and drawn out, some people were margin called and they thought that the market would reverse, and it didn't come back in time. It continued to drop and they got kind of caught out, which sucks. But anyway, you could still borrow against that ETF out of your 401k. Again, not recommending that. If it's in a 401k, I don't know how old you are, but you'll be able to benefit from that. And if you do have some XRP outside of that, I think that that's probably a really good way to look at it is, you've got stuff in your retirement account that's for long-term retirement, and then you have other stuff that you're going to be able to put to work and live off of and do things with in the short term to supplement your income until you are able to quote-unquote retire on that other allocation. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. I would speak with somebody over there at DWP in order to figure out what the best solution is for you and your family. We haven't talked about the LLC, but I'll go ahead and throw it up here. The majority of our clients do have an LLC that they manage their digital